So I wanted to just share a little bit about our firm, how I got connected. Open Cities is actually the 4th startup that I've been a part of, the 3rd one in Kansas City. So have a great opportunity to talk about what we do. Just to help you orient a little bit, our firm is based in Melbourne, Australia. About 6 months ago, I became the Managing Director of Growth and Strategy, where we're trying to focus on how we take a bigger part of the market share in the US. In Australia, our firm has about 20% of all Australian governments use our technology. That may sound like a lot, but in Australia, there's only 600 governments, as compared to here in the United States, there's 13,000 cities, 3,000 counties, and combined with federal quasi-governmental agencies, in total there's about 89,000. So the opportunity for us to scale here in the US is really significant. A couple of things that we think are really important about our company: we are fully self-funded. We are 10 years old. We have never required any venture capital. The company has grown through really smart strategic growth, one person at a time. And for us, what that allows us to do is really take a long-term view of the market and really leaning into feedback from our customers as we start to make strategic decisions about our product, the way that we operate as a company, how we grow and expand, and also for us has provided us a ton of flexibility. So here's the premise. Millions and millions of times a day, citizens log into whatevercity.gov, and it ends up being a really shitty experience, just like digging through your junk drawer, where you can't find anything. By the time you find it, you've already gone to Lowe's or Walgreens and bought a new measuring tape, a ruler, or pencils, and you just say to hell with it, right? So that is a really real problem, and is actually an analogy that the mayor of Tacoma, Washington gave us when we were doing research with about 80 different cities to try to figure out how do we help cities build better governments and build better websites. So as we went through that, we started to really realize that the website is truly the digital front door for government, right? So again, millions of times a day, citizens are logging in expecting to be able to do something with their government. In most cases, that means ending up at a PDF or ending up at something that tells you to walk into City Hall, right? As that happens, it's not accessible for most citizens. It requires people to take off time. It costs the government a ton of money, right? So on average, every single city spends about $3.15 every time a citizen calls 311 in their city and asks a question. Every time a citizen walks in to stand in line, to pay a tax bill, to talk to Mary Sue at the counter, to pay a parking ticket, it costs them $12 every time they have one of those transactions. So what we've been able to do is really help governments shift their thinking about how you actually make the website become this digital front door, and help take them through a process that actually transforms the way they use the website to provide transactional and digital services to citizens. We've been able to do that in part by taking really strategic bets and working with renegades inside government. And I know for a lot of us that seems like a misnomer, right? Renegades inside government. The good news is there's people like us that are entrepreneurs, trying to do the same good things inside government. One of those happens to be a woman named Becky Jo Glover. Becky Jo started the first multi-jurisdictional 311 service in Miami-Dade County. She was able to reduce the call volume by about 30%, moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and has been on a bender ever since. We worked with Becky Jo because she was one of these people that knew how to use data to build support inside government to say, if we don't do the right things on our website, people won't do the right things that we want them to do. So what we were able to do with her in about 12 weeks, shoot, I forgot, I'm on a different presentation. I had to log into a Google presentation instead. In 12 weeks, what we were able to do with them was turn a PDF that created about 120,000 transactions a year into a digital service that resulted in 80% fewer people walking into City Hall, and just for that one service saved them $14,000 in 12 weeks. Now extrapolate that across the 285 services that they don't have online, and think about what the cost savings are, but more importantly, what it does to build trust and help engage citizens in new ways, so that when you want to go out for an $800 million bond initiative where you need to tell people there's an earthquake, or that there's something happening and you need their vote, as you build trust with those people, they're now going to engage and they're going to productively work with government in new ways.